Hello and welcome everyone to, once again, another episode of live coverage of the Warriors of Æsir League of Legends competitive team competing in the Style Esports League here in this playoff matchup. We return now for a series against Mzry Collective. Those of you who watched last time, I was mistaken. This is actually double elimination. So we do survive, and we have one more chance here to move on in the playoffs. This, though, is definitely do or die. It is not triple elimination. And already the bans are underway. Top lane focus. I had a chance to jump in with the team in their pre-draft meetings and discussion already, and a lot of familiar bans coming out from Mzry Collective. Master Yi ban against Foldmather, very, very, very common almost every game, and Jinx as well. I think just A in general, but also Icewing in particular. You know, I know Team WA has tried some comps with Jinx before. Definitely comfortable with that, so that's not going to be an option this time. And banning the Xerath as well, which is interesting. I know Ulfold has brought that out. Silver can also bring it out support, so maybe getting a little bit of a double dipping there. And WA again hovering the Jarvan here, and I expect this to be locked in, yeah. So this is really just the tried and true. I think that initially with some of the practices, Foldmather and the team were talking about, okay, let's try to have a few different comps ready and maybe pivot, be able to adapt, that kind of thing. But the Jarvan has really just been the consistent one, and I think basically the shift has been Warriors of Æsir attempting to really get good at one particular comp. And generally that has started with these Jarvan comps, and you can pair it with a lot of things. You can throw in, you know, Galio, Camille, whatever you want on the top. Misfortune, there's a lot of different things you can do with that. And generally that's what we've been practicing. You see now Mzry Collective bring out the Poppy, which I don't know how much VOD review and research they've done, but Poppy, huge problem for WA in some of the previous games, and really, you know, already you're picking that into the Jarvan, right? You've got the Steadfast Presence, immediately stopping that flag and drag, and a lot of the comp that you would want to build around Jarvan. Now you've got to consider, okay, we've got to pick these champions knowing they're going to be playing into the Poppy, which definitely is a challenge. Fair warning, I threw this stream together in about 5 minutes, so I'm hoping all the graphics and everything are working, but if I have to mess with things now and then, that is the reason why. So the Lucian locked in addition to the Poppy, and I'd be curious to see what kind of scouting reports we've got available, if any, here right now, because as I said, thrown together, I haven't had a chance to look at too much here. So let's take a look, because I'm curious WA has played into both Poppy jungle and Poppy support in the past, so I would be curious to see where exactly that is going. But Ash Braum locked in the bot lane. And roster rundown for WA, we've had some people in and out, including myself. Icewing returning as AD carry. Silver is going to be support. Mellow once again in the top lane. See the Corky ban there. So the Ash, Braum got the Freljord down there in the bot lane. Silver going to be piloting the Braum. I know he likes playing Braum a lot. I've do it with him a little bit when he's piloting the Braum. And Icewing brought out the Ash. I really like the pick. I don't know that I've seen him play it myself, but he may have brought it out in solo queue a fair bit. I think it's just really nice insofar as, you know, when you start the fight, assuming it's a good fight, it's really, really hard for anybody to disengage, and the Braum just accentuates that even further. And I think that can make it really, you know, if you're misstepping, which is something I often do against the Ashe, right? You get punished really easily because you can't just leave. Like, let's say you walk up and take a, you know, an extra auto from Jinx. Usually you can just back off and say, okay, shouldn't have done that, you know, misclick there. But Ashe can really extend those mistakes. So Lucian and the Rakan picked up. Rakan, which our other support, Supank, was a huge fan of. So that's going to be the bot lane that the Ashe Braum has to play into, and that will send the Poppy there into the jungle. For Jedi, with Sion headed top, unless we're seeing a Sion mid, but no, I don't think so. So Sion there top. You see the Galio banned away. Of course, I mentioned Galio Jarvan, right? Malzahar's been a tried and true for Ulfbald. Taken away from him there. He's had a tremendous win rate on it. Ulfbald banning away the Syndra that I know he's comfortable with, but, and as well the Quinn, talked about in pre-draft meetings. I know keeping that away from milking them in the top lane. And Mello locking in the Aatrox, one of his trademark picks in the top lane. But interesting comp that I'm seeing WA build. I mean, I don't know that we see a lot of, I mean, this is totally different from the kind of Jarvan comps that I've seen the team bring out in the past. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, Ulf has played a ton of Orianna. Obviously, that's a great pick for him. And looking at the Sylas and maybe the Kiana here for Jay, for Mzry. Curious what does get locked in there. But you do have the Jarvan Orianna combo, which I think is good. But at the same time, if you're having to do that into a Poppy, and I'd be, yeah, okay, looking at the Rise. Okay. So you've got the Rise and the Sion as well as the Rakan. It's going to be really hard for Old Matthew to go in here. And I kind of feel like that may be what the team discussed in the draft here, right? Is, okay, we've got the Jarvan, now they pick the Poppy, so we can't go with, like, the Zac. They opted not to pick the Misfortune for Icewing that the team has been trying a lot. Instead, just kind of opting for, I mean, you've got some engage here, right? Ashe, great go button. I mean, even Braum Ultimate, I feel like it's, you know, it's not a great one, but I think better for follow-up. It can be nice, I think, in the 2v2 because it's a lot harder to dodge, easier to set up that way. Braum can just jump to a minion, press R, probably hit somebody. The challenge is going to be Lucian and Rakan are both so mobile. I mean, we'll see the skill of the bot lane with Mzry Collective, but there's going to be a lot of opportunity, I think, for them to outplay. I'm guessing we're going to have to see a cleanse there from the AD carry of Mzry Collective, but maybe not. I mean, sometimes you see enough CC and you think, well, this is not even worth it, but I would be pretty surprised if that doesn't come out. Could kind of ego it and say, I don't even need it. Don't even need it to win here, so we'll see what does get picked there as we're going into our actual draft here in the lobby, but really interesting to see. I don't know that I've seen WA play against the Rise. I mean, you just don't see Rise that often, at least in my games, not in a long time, so that can be, it can be good and can be bad, because I think I'm still waiting. My computer does not want to load my little scouting report here, but I'm not seeing any Rise here from, unless I'm missing something here from Mzry Collective. So, you know, that's what you're always curious about, right? Because most of the time, when you see somebody actually lock in the Rise, especially like this counterpick in the Orianna, it's somebody that plays a lot of Rise, and that's when the champion is really scary. So, we'll be seeing how that goes. Oh, apparently I've got 18 missions as well. Let's check on what's going on there. Okay. Something happened. Spirit Blossom event. I didn't even know about it. Okay. Gotta start grinding League again. So Aatrox Jarvan here. I'll be really curious to watch top lane. I don't want to flame Mello here, but in the previous playoff series, there were some problems top lane. And this is a totally different look from Mello and a totally different matchup. he's got the Aatrox into the Scion, I would look for him to take advantage of that. So we're going to see if that is how things pan out. On the other hand, I know from some of my games with the team and casting and watching, of course, that split pushing has been a problem for WA. And if that is what we see with Scion Rise, which I'm pretty sure we will, it's going to be really challenging because you have to really be on point with your comms and decision making and know what you want to do. I guarantee we're going to see at least once or twice WA is skirmishing with Mzry Collective, you know, kind of battling over vision around Baron, maybe Rift Herald or Grubs or Drake. And there's going to be somebody in top lane or mid lane or bot lane pushing, and a call is going to have to be made. And historically, again, I'm, you know, of course, WA, that's our home team, right? I'm a fan. We're rooting for them. But historically, it has been really hard for the team to deal with that. And the decision-making has just not been there. And I know part of it is there is kind of an unwillingness to concede anything. The feeling is we can't be giving up towers, we can't be giving up objectives, we can't let them get anything. And while in theory it would be great to just choke out the other team and win every time, it doesn't actually happen that way. Sometimes you do have to trade around the map. And I think the team has been pretty good about trading, say, Grubs for Drake or vice versa. Old Math are usually on point with that. Roam's from Wolf mid, Fold and Wolf have been playing for a long time. Those of you just joining us that don't know. But I think the challenge is beyond that, when you don't have the opportunity to trade one objective for another. Instead, when you're trading turrets for an objective or deciding to contest, that can be a challenge, and you really have to be able to make those decisions and know what the optimal choice is, and it's not easy. And I know sometimes, you know, we've had VOD reviews, right, where we're talking about, okay, well, somebody should have made the call there. I mean, somebody should have said what we're supposed to do, and my own feeling is I didn't know what to do, so that's why I didn't say anything. But hopefully, Team WA will be ready. In the meantime, we've got a brief spectator delay, so we'll head to a break here on the broadcast. Do not go anywhere when we return in just under 3 minutes. We loaded the Rift for Game 1 of the Warriors of Æsir versus Mzry Collective. Don't miss it. And welcome to the Rift, everyone. We're watching a 5-man invade that is about to take place here. Mzry headed right into Ulfald, who wisely catches us out, but they could maybe still force a flash here. The Rakan, okay. So flash for flash. It was actually a little condemned, that flash. I was kind of expecting maybe a flash grand entrance there from Rodent, but flash for flash. So little condemned from the Scion with the Summoner gone there. So again, really gonna be looking at top lane. Actually, now check this out. Wards here and little condemn waiting. Maybe tries to execute. Let's check out the wards here. So they spot out that a ward was placed. Okay, it's a proxy coming out here from Lil Condemn. I was curious if he was going to try to execute to the blue sentinel maybe, but wow. 3 deep wards in there from Mzry Collective. Both sides of the jungle. I haven't seen that level of early ward coverage any of the teams WA's played against so far. So you can see, let's fix that ping volume a little bit, huh? My first time actually seeing this new Rift. I've gotten so used to the Noxus one. This is crazy, I gotta say. Should have put on some Spirit Blossom music or something if there is any. So Fullmather starting there on the Raptors and then moving down to Prugs. And the exact same start mirrored here for Jedi on the top side. And I'm curious how they deal with that. Okay, and you see Lil Condemn actually... Oh, he's just putting another ward down. At least, as if 2 was not enough. 3 wards now. Okay, 1 expired, but still making sure they know where every single, basically every camp here of Old Mathers is warded. Lil Condemn taking some damage. Oh, actually, he executes. This guy's got some Faust strategies, I guess. I don't watch enough Faust to know the exact techniques, but it looks like it to me. Okay, so executes, has 18 minions already, by the way. Executes. And you can see they spot out Fullmather there on the wolves, and he's just going for a full clear, as is Jedi right now. Ulfald trading pretty even with Jay here in mid, and let's check in here on bot lane. Oh, direct camera agrees with me. Rodent versus Icewing here. Icewing down a couple of minions. And I didn't see who dinged level 2 first. It doesn't look like it was too disastrous for either side, although we do see Icewing burning through a fair bit of the mana. And yeah, no cleanse here for Suit Duck, which, yeah, I was talking about. I mean, I would probably take it, but like I said, you know, I mean, you've got the opportunity there with the Lucian, you know, Relentless Pursuit. I mean, you got the quick reactions, but you get out of the way of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You know, you're not too concerned about the Braum passive stacking up. You know, I mean, obviously Barrier is a very much desired summoner right now. Meanwhile, top lane, Lil Condemn. Meanwhile, bot lane as well. Action cross side of the map. Icewing ignited. Jedi behind him coming in. Barrier used. Not enough to protect him. First blood. Get over to Suit Duck on the Lucian. Meanwhile, top side, Lil Condemn flashless. And Fullmather actually burned the flash, and they still were not able to kill the Scion. Don't let that death deceive you. That was the execute. So, mirrored plays top and bot here, and top side, WA burns a flash, finds nothing. Bot side, Mzry only had to use Ignite on their support. And they got that kill into Icewing. Flash not used by Icewing or Silver, though, so they will still have those summoners. But early first blood, and a lot of teleports being used already. Condemn back top now, Jay back mid. And Drake will be spawning up here shortly. Could be the first target. You can see Icewing and Silver are back, but Icewing, double daggers. That always feels bad when that's the buy that you're picking up. And you can see Suit Duck with that kill. He's got a longsword and a pickaxe. Huge damage difference between these two ADs. I mean, I guess some consolation. The attack speed is going to be nice for stacking up the Braum stun, but you're talking about a potential skirmish over Drake. I mean, that's more of a situation where you're hoping to focus down one target. And now Jedi coming in, looking for the Scion. Melon able to find it. Not level 6. Jedi. Okay, meanwhile, 2v2 bot lane. Icewing backing away. Yeah, not quite able to stack up. Braum passive there, bot lane. Mello still sticking around here. Doesn't want to let them push in this wave, which Jedi is attempting to do. Mello did use flash, by the way. That was off screen. Thank you, directed camera. And now reset finally coming through there from Jedi and Condemn. Up 1,000 gold Mzry Collective, but that play will open up the Drake here for WA. And Ulfald is here. Level 6 has the Shockwave. Level 6 for Jay as well. But it looks like the call has been just give up the Drake. And key change that I know even just in the pre-game meeting the team was talking about, the staggered timings now for Drake and Grub. So, I mean, I guess I wasted my time talking about WA's ability to trade objectives because it's no longer a thing. At least in that sense. Jedi is here, but Foldmather has already completed the heist and taken the Drake. So a small little prize for WA in the early minutes of this game 1. As a reminder, this is a playoff series. Loser is out. This is the bottom bracket double elimination. If you saw our last broadcast, you probably, like me, thought WA was done for. I gave my whole speech about the last time they would ever pick a champion in the draft there in that game 2 that was lost. But just kidding, actually. They have one more chance here in this series. But it's game 1. Still a lot of League of Legends left to be played. But early, it has been Mzry Collective certainly on the front foot. Not too much action for either jungler. A lot of times in previous games, we've seen Foldmather have a lot of mid lane focus. Not so this game. Okay, here we go. Maybe looking for a shockwave. Yes, onto Jedi. There's the flag and drag, and not even gonna burn the flash. And Ulfald gets the kill. Catching Mzry's jungler there on the rotation. Nice little bite back for WA as Rodent maybe looking to stop this recall last second. It just barely does with the Gleaming Quill. But will lose a control ward for it. But Mello, I wonder who is catching who here, because Suitduck is there, Summoner's available. No Shockwave. Cataclysm up for Foldmather. Mello recalled, though. Foldmather cannot take these grubs in full view of the bot lane of Mzry Collective, and the lane swap has returned, hasn't it? Rodent and Duck are headed here topside. Jedi is here, and Foldmather goes in. He wants the grubs. No Shockwave, though, and Ulfald still hasn't recalled. He's low on mana. Culling comes out. Fullmather's low. Ignited. Here comes Jay. Fresh off of the ultimate. Now they're looking to chase them down. Icewing and Silver are here. At least it's a straight up 4 versus 4. They're looking. Fullmather's very low. The Great Entrance finds the jungler of WA. Flash auto from Duck will finish off that Jarvan. Low health bars all around. Icewing has taken down the Lucian. Continuing, but here comes the Scion. Just when WA looks to be taking advantage of this fight, the chain CC onto Icewing, who flashes away but still falls. Condemn arrives just in time. Oh, it looked good for the Warriors of Æsir, but the Scion turned the tides, and despite those frustratingly low health bars on the side of Mzry Collective, they will get the grubs and a couple of kills to boot. It all started with that recall by Mello around the grubs, and Ulfald not able to recall. And without the Shockwave available, and you think with at least one of those, that fight would have looked very different, even with the Scion, joining the fight. But fortunately, just not quite coordinating the recalls there. They just got the kill on the Poppy. So you know that's what Foldmather is thinking. We got to take this grub. We have a window here. But that window, unfortunately, shut in the lives of several members of the Warriors of Æsir, who are now staring down about just shy of a 2,000 gold lead here at 10 minutes. Icewing now level 6, and Silver as well. We'll have that Fisher pretty soon, and Mello That fully stacked Conqueror. Oh no, Ulfald taking so much damage, flashing away. One more auto would do it, burning down his Ulfald, but he has the shield. I think Jay could have finished them off, and maybe they were trying to do the cool guys don't look at explosions, but Ulfald actually survives with the flash. And he will have the teleport to get back into mid lane, which he will use right now. Lurking around bot now is Mzry Jedi on the Poppy. And yeah, I was talking about the ultimates bot lane. Culling now back up, as well as quickness for Rodent. And yeah, I was curious if Jedi would look down here bot, but channeling the recall right now, unless that gets canceled. It does! Jay and Ulfald trading, Shockwave available. And Jedi still looking here. Now Foldmather in the area. And I mentioned not too much attention around mid, and just as I say that now, look at this. 2v2 mid lane happening. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes mid, and it will go wide. And Mello versus Condemn here. Heartsteel purchased by the Scion, and he's going to be harvesting that dopamine from the sound. Oh, man, Mello forced a flash away here. So 75 to 88, barely even in the CS department, but down a couple of waves here top. Meanwhile, mid just about dead even. Foldmather nicely buffers the flag and red, gets out. It's just too hard to say the Demacian standard into Dragonlance combo. Maybe I'll get the chance. We have a really, really slow, long, drawn-out fight. Condemn also just stacking up those turret plates repeatedly. Mello now around this Drake. So a couple of plates lost top, but traded to pick up that Drake. This time Mello, I know this is another thing the team has talked about, is trying to figure out, okay, when should Mello be joining the fight? When should he be staying in lane? When do we want to use teleport? So he did use the teleport there to help set up that objective taken bot lane and make sure WA now has 2 Drakes. And this could be trouble for Condemn. He's going to get a Heartsteel proc. Mello still chasing. I mean, I was thinking he'd pop the World Ender here. Meanwhile, Ulfald, there's the Shockwave, quickness, the CC, no flash, Ignite down, a little bit more damage. Foldmather trying to protect his mid laner. And Ulfald again lives with a sliver of HP. Foldmather as well will take a quick Demacian standard into Dragonlance combination over to the Raptor Pit. And out of trouble, now holding mid lane down. But we're okay. Now looking for the dive onto Foldmather. There's the Cataclysm. The arrow comes through. And Mzry Jedi flashes away. Again, the low health bars. Jay and Poppy both so low, but it is Foldmather that dies despite the flash on the ultimate. And yeah, surprised what happened there top lane. I thought maybe a World Ender. Mello did use the World Ender actually, but not able to kill Lil Condemn. And now Lil Condemn is full HP. And as well, the crucial Bramble Vest pickup against the Aatrox. We'll have to be checking in on how much healing Condemn is stopping there. You can see already Mello having a real tough time. He doesn't have an item completed yet. Doesn't have teleport. This turret's as good as gone. Nicely done there to at least interrupt the decimating smash. But I think Condemn just takes this. Foldmather's coming in, trying to stop it. Condemn can just ult away. They've got to get in front. Okay. Condemn wants the kill, and he is going to lose his life as a result. Make sure we don't get too cocky and die to the Scion passive. Yeah, he's more interested in the minions. Probably a smart choice from Lil Condemn. So at least a kill, but first turret going down. Not great news for WA. Now down 3,000 gold. Suit Duck could be in trouble here. Okay, Relentless Pursuit away from the Shockwave, but now a flash. Still chasing him down. The culling, the barrier. Kind of surprised Suit Duck used everything there. I don't think there is really any hope of even a kill, but he does go down. Ulfald now 2-0. Kind of the saving grace for WA at the moment, but they're still down a couple grand. Silver and Icewing have not been able to get too much done here. Bot lane up until that point, but staying pretty even in CS across the board. Top lane behind a bit more, and Foldmather, the chain CC is here. Ulfald gonna try to shield him. No Shockwave available, and there's Jay to pick up the kill again. The jungler of Clan WA dying in mid lane for the 3rd time now. And that should mean a free Rift Herald for Mzry Collective, who have a ton of vision control here. WA kind of wants to have the last laugh, but I don't know. Lil Condemned can't teleport in, but you've got no smite. Ice Wing is just here bot lane trying to catch a wave, but that's another turret picked up by the Sun. I talked about, you know, split push potential. It's already online here for Mzry Collective, and WA has got to find a solution fast. They are rapidly approaching 4,000 gold down. Okay, quickness used mid by Rodent. Meanwhile, Chain of Crystal Arrow, and the arrows are firing from Ice Wing. Boldmather trying to assist his AD carry in hope maybe finally one of these ganks, one of these plays can work. Condemn is so tanky. He's still alive and even gets a Heartsteel proc with his final breath of life. So he does die once again, but I'm sure the Bao's disciples are laughing, saying, oh, that death doesn't count. That's worth death. Okay, Mello trying to decide if he wants to go in on Suit Duck here. He is flashless. Mello has World Ender, and his flash just came up. Maybe could have looked there, but didn't know where anyone in Mzry Collective was. Didn't feel like he could risk it. So mid lane, the last outer turret standing here for the Warriors of Æsir, but it is frighteningly low. And now it's Mello versus Jay. Mello with the Sundered Sky completed. A little bit of a spike for him, but that is a 2-item rise with a 300 gold bounty. And our hometown Aatrox is not interested in that, but he might not have a choice. He's now looking for Jay. He uses the flash, the World Ender, but he's getting rooted and taking so much damage with 0 magic resist. Oh, and missing the sweet spot there in the Q, and another one. That could be it. He's still healing. Now gets the shield proc there from the Seraph's Embrace. Continuing, waiting out those cooldowns, Mello and Jay. The level 11 showdown continues. Jay now flashes. Meanwhile, 4 versus 4 around the Drake, and Mello decides to back off. At the end of the day, it's a flash for flash there in top lane. Not able to find anything. Rodent a bit low here. Keeper's Verdict. Not going to find anybody. Fullmather in the middle of 3. Here comes the Shockwave onto 3. It's huge. Fullmather, though, taking so much damage. And there comes is the Rise with the teleport. It's going to be a man disadvantage, but Mello is here as well. The teleport of his own. He's found one. Very low is the Rakan. Condemned chasing Ice Wing away. Has the barrier, but nothing else. They've got to try to protect their AD carry to WA, and they can't in time. He's already died. Now Mello no fold. This is a disconnected fight. They've got to try to kill Suit Duck. They will try to kill the Rakan, but they can't. One by one. Mzry Collective are just dancing around, changing who's frontlining with the health bars here. Ulfald, gotta watch out for the root from Jay. He will go under turret and will just die to it. No way for WA to find a way out of that fight. They take down the Poppy, but they lose the fight. They lose the Drake. They lose 5. And again, Mzry Collective with such low health bars. Actually, okay, here comes Fullmather looking for the steal, and he has it! Just in time, and he wants more. Cataclysm, but he's taking so much damage, and just as he channels it, it does go on cooldown, but no damage, no kills for WA's jungler. It's 6 kills over to the Collective, but WA does get their 3rd Drake. They are on that soul point, but what is that worth? I don't think it's worth a 6,000 gold deficit, but that's what they have. Jedi gonna find himself a silver. Lil Condemn is here as well, and with okay. The WA continues, looking for the stuns. Ice Wing, nicely done, dodges away from the decimating smash, trying to chase, slow them down. Ulfald's on the way, has the shockwave. There's the stun, but unfortunately Condemn is unstoppable, and there is nothing to be had. You can see the wards littering the red side jungle of Team WA. Difficult for Fullmather to find any avenues, any plays to set up because they have eyes on him 24/7. That surveillance. 0-5. Fullmather, the jungler WA looking for a Rakan, but that's going to be a challenging target. Shockwave here into Rodent. Here comes Jedi, and Fullmather, Keeper's Verdict knocks him away. Now Ulfald could be the target. Got to get away. Stunned against the wall by Jedi. Mello running interference, looking for Suit Duck. Silver on the way, Ice Wing on the way. Crystal Arrow must have been used. It's on cooldown still. Cataclysm coming up here. Now they're looking for Jedi, and they should be able to find him. Rodent, not even sure if he wants to protect the Poppy. Foldmather flashing away, nearly dying to this Poppy, who is 1 versus 3. They do once again take down Jedi, but that has been one of the few targets that WA has been able to consistently find. That fight looked like it could have been better, but it was not. And Jay, split push online again. The point is hammered home here. WA now trading. Okay, I mentioned trading objectives, figuring out what you want to do with this split push. The challenge here will be keeping Foldmather alive. They're going to be trying to kill this jungler to make sure there's no smite available. They've got to kill Otacon. They got to get him down low enough that ult can smite. And he will. And now condemn the next target. Ignite on the Scion. Foldmather has all these shields and the stuns from the Braum. Icewing stacks him up. And somehow Foldmather lives. And Otacon goes down. However, Rift Herald summon mid. It's Suit Duck pushing that. And it's Jay and bot lane. WA has repeatedly traded these turrets for objectives. They've got 3 Drakes. They've got Otacon. It looks good, but the gold difference continues to grow. Almost 7,000 now. Yes, you like the power of the Drakes, but this is still decidedly a game that Mzry Collective is in firm control of. Suit and Jay able to get out there before Silver can finish stacking up that passive. So WA consistently looking at these objectives. Another objective could be Mr. J on the rise with 2.5 items and counting at 200 CS here at 22 minutes. Not quite Chovy pace, but certainly leading the pack in this game. 5-0 and 5, a 700 gold bounty on the head of that rise. Let's see if WA is able to take down Mzry Collective's mid laner. Will be challenging, certainly, for the Warriors of Æsir to coordinate these cross-map plays with Little Condemn and Jay both able to move around the map so quickly and push down turrets so quickly. Here we go, quickness, looking for Ice Wing. The knock up there onto the Ashe. Doesn't have flash, has a barrier. Arrow comes out, Rodent very low, Ice Wing falls. Somehow the Rakan lives. Here comes Mellow in the fall, the double TP. The Shockwave doesn't find the Lucian. He must have been just barely out of the hitbox. Ulfald finds one. Now Sutuk flashing in, finds another with that auto, but make it a 5 for 2 in Mzry Collective. Again, smash the fight. Jay, low on the health bar, made use of that Seraph's Embrace shield. But crucially, 2 of the 3 survivors from Mzry wear their incredibly strong split pushers, and they have now taken 2 more turrets. The gold lead almost 10,000. It will be up to WA with that Drake spawning now to try to contest it, maybe fight over it, or is the call to simply give it up because they can afford to give up a few Drakes? I know what Foldmather is saying on comms right now. That's our soul. Do WA try to contest this? It seems like the call is yes, but Mello has no teleport and he's not here. There's no way WA can try this. They should know by now that Condemn is here. This could be a disaster. 5 versus 4. Jay has the Rabadons. This Rise is a monstrosity in this fight. WA cannot win this. They're still looking, and Mello has walked over here. I guess they've made the call, and actually Mzry Collective back off the Drake. I think they want the fight. They should with this Rise. Lucian as well, 2.5 items, Infinity Edge. They found Foldmather. He's getting away. Arrow onto Lucian, that's big. Cataclysm onto 2. It's a 2-sided fight, but Foldmather is almost dying just to the Scion. And the Keeper's Verdict knocks Mello away. Ulfald still has the Shockwave, looking for a big one. The damage from this Orianna is not too bad either, but look at the damage from Jay. He's almost one-shot Ice Wing, and he will. The AD carry of WA is already dead in this fight. Shockwave, but it only procs the shield again onto the mid laner of Mzry Collective. And WA are routed. They've lost one. Their mid laner is strong, but the other mid laner is even stronger. The Drake goes down, and now the question is, why are WA still here? They're just asking for somebody to die because the Collective are on the way. Foldmather getting chased down here. Flashes, but a bit more damage. Double flash here. Jay and Condemn will take down WA's jungler. 3 men on the map here for the Warriors of Æsir, and still have yet to recall, but low health bars from Mzry Collective mean they will recall as well. The difference is they have a lot more gold to spend. Mello not even willing to interrupt those recalls, preferring instead to just mop up what little CS he can find. Ice Swing at 2 items and has that no magic mantle. I wonder if that is a Quicksilver Sash he's hoping to complete. Would not surprise me, especially for the quickness from Rodin. It's just so hard to deal with that. The Rakan can just leap in an instant. It's not a skill shot like the Ahri Charm that can be missed. Again, Jedi taking some damage, but the heroic presence helping. There's the quickness we mentioned. The arrow goes wide, finds nobody. Cataclysm and the culling from Suitdog. A lot of damage. Mello is huge on the Aatrox, though, and the damage is massive. Full the Ice Wing will clean things up. Jay tried to 1 versus 3, and he will take down another. But that's the best fight WA has had the entire day. 3 for 4, though. Unfortunately, Condemn left all on his own on the bot side, has already taken a turret, now wants an inhibitor, and I don't think Ulfold can do a thing about this. Maybe he can kill Condemn for the trouble, although I don't even know. I mean, the damage with the Titanic Hydra is so massive from this Scion. Can we take a look? What's his health bar even at? Oh, directed camera didn't want me to click that. Come on, Condemn, don't evade my cursor. 5,561 here, so we can take a look. That is a ridiculous amount of damage from the Titanic Hydra. And a ton of armor, too, so it's really all on Ulfold. 6 and 2 on the Orianna has been the difference maker. Crucially, in that last fight, Mello set things up. I hesitate to call it the Shy-esque play, but there is shades of it there. A ton of damage from the Aatrox, hitting multiple targets, died, but able to help them get that huge shutdown on Jay. And here, no shutdown to speak of onto Lil Condemn, but at least there will be no Scion on the map for a bit. But oh no, Silver has spotted this one out. The Baron is so low. Icewing can look for an arrow or a miracle steal. No, there's no way in. Now they're going to try to find the fight. Actually, that was nice from Silver. The Rise ultimate, though, is going to get 2 away. And Mzry Collective, okay, Jedi at least, flashless. The Poppy could be the target. Will fall. Shockwave needs a bit more damage, though. When Jay is here, Rodin is here. They can turn this around. Ignite there onto the Poppy, and Jedi, again, barely lives. WA has gotten a little bit of gold back, but they are still down almost 9,000. A little over 9,000, I should say. Foldmather is here, but be careful. Jay, again, so powerful. Actually has the Frozen Heart now, too. So how are you going to kill him? Okay, Flash, Granite from Rodin, finds nobody. Decimating Smash, only Silver. WA trying to get out of here. Here comes Jedi. Is going to find somebody on this wall. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Foldmather. Icewing also, though, in a terrible spot. Flashes away his safety, but the damage from Jay is coming in. It's massive. Foldmather already dead. Silver so low. Jay, you know he's itching to flash forward and take down that Braum, but he can't. He has no flash for another minute here. But WA lose their jungler. 5 versus 4 power play from Mzry Collective for 35 seconds now. And the Baron buff. It's going to take a valiant last stand of defense from WA to even survive here. That gold deficit, now the highest it's ever been, almost 11,000. It's going to go up even more. 1 inhibitor down, another inhibitor to follow. Triple inhibitor now are the Warriors of Æsir in 19 seconds on Foldmather. They've got to find a play. Shockwave, World Ender, maybe from Mello if they can find a miracle. Quickness popped by the Rakan. Ulfold caught there. They're going to have to try to kill the Orianna. They can't quite yet. Mello only hit the Poppy. Culling on the backside from Suitduck has already killed 1. Shockwave onto the Lucian. Icewing finishes him off, but the Nexus will fall. The Warriors of Æsir lose, and Mzry Collective take game number 1. Unfortunate game for WA. They were really behind from minute 1. The Drake stacking was the salvation. Ulfold with some nice plays. A huge fight from Mello, Ulf, and Icewing. They're around mid lane, but even then, that one glimmer of hope traded for Lil Condemn's continuous rampage in the side lanes. And Jay with 44,000 damage. Ulfold with a respectable 39.7. Certainly a duel of Titanic mid laners here, and it was Mzry Collective that emerged triumphant in game one, but this is a series that's not over just yet. WA is down one game. They'll look to even things up in game two. We head to a break. When we return, the draft for that second game. Welcome back, everyone. We're here for game number 2. WA attempting to stay alive. The Ban phase already underway, and the same bans as we saw in Game 1 coming through. We'll see if their way completes that clone. Mzry Collective already up 1 game. They're looking to make it a 2-0. Curious to see if we don't see a Poppy ban coming out. I know it's an adaptation WA has made in previous series where Poppy was a problem, but no. The Warriors of Æsir stick with the Corki ban. But this time, Mzry Collective are in blue side. That means they have the first pick. Oh, do they actually lock in a Zed here? I mean, Jay picked the Rise, and I don't see any Rise in the match history, so do we see the Zed locked in? The clock's ticking down. You can't hover Zed for 26 seconds and then not lock it in. Okay, apparently you can. So the Vi is picked up here for Jedi in the jungle. So the Poppy open, but that was that counter pick into that Jarvan here. This time, the Vi is what Jedi will be opting to play. The question is, how did WA respond and how do they draft here on the red side? I mean, the Jarvan is still up. Yeah, you could still run into something like a Poppy support or maybe something. Oh, now that's interesting. So it's actually WA that says we like the Poppy so much, we are going to pick it. And I wonder how far ahead that thought came in as far as not banning it away here, despite Mzry being on blue side. So the Poppy going to be locked in there almost assuredly for Fold Nather in the jungle, I would think. I suppose Silver could bring it out support, but actually, okay, never mind. So the Karma locked in here, though. Again, I really suspect, even though I know that's a Supank special, really suspect that's going to be Silver bringing that out in the support role as well. But that being said, I know Ulfold can play at mid. I'm pretty sure Mello has even hinted at a Karma top. I have to think there's no way that's what Team WA looks to bring out here, but some potential fringe flexes, we'll call them. Nautilus, though, locked in here, though, for Rodents. I wonder if they do just lock in an AD carry to pair up with the Nautilus already. Kind of looks like it. The Jhin would be interesting. I play a lot of Jhin. I love playing Jhin, and it is locked in. Okay, so Supnak bringing out the Jhin. Knowing there's no Jarvan to deal with, I know that's something that would be such a nightmare for a Jhin. There's still some champions I think WA can pick that can be disruptive to the Jhin, especially he has such a hard time dealing with tanks. If this comp from the WA gets tankier, Mello loves the Zac, Cho'Gath, Ornn even. But we'll see. Saving Mello and Ulfold's picks for later in the game, we assume. And the Ezreal locked in here for Icewing. I am a huge Ezreal fan. I think it's a great pick. The one challenge with the Nautilus is, you know, it's kind of the same thing as when you pick something like a Bane or a Lucian or, you know, even Tristana, where because he has that point-and-click depth charge, that can sometimes limit how effective your escape tools actually are. I think in practice, the Ezreal interaction is still pretty nice because there's no way he should ever hit a dredge line. And actually, Mzry Collective banning away the Aatrox, so focusing top lane right now. WA mirrors the same 5 bans, and that's the only change for the Collective, is opting for that Aatrox ban this time around instead of the Galio that was banned in Game 1. Malzahar still banned against Ulfold. But finally, WA will have counter pick. And I think the question here is, do they want to give that to Mello or Ulfold? It's looking like Ulfold. Covering the Cho'Gath. Yeah, I mentioned that. Those tanky champions, that can be a problem for Jhin. I really like Cho'Gath as well into any kind of engage. The main reason being, I mean, yeah, if you're good at the ruptures, that's huge, but for me, the Feral Scream, I think it actually is the most annoying ability in the game. I mean, I know there's some really disgusting new champions that Riot has made lately, but Cho'Gath, this ancient champion that was invented in the, you know, in the Dark Ages, has this one ability that just AoE silences everyone for an eternity. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world. If you're a champion like Vi, you're trying to, you know, auto-E, auto-cancel, Nautilus, you're trying to dredge line in, press W, press E, throw a depth charge out. You can't do any of it. I actually like it in the Jhin, too. If Cho'Gath is far enough up, Rupture can interrupt the curtain call. There's definitely some opportunities here. On the flip side, the Mel picked, I think, pretty nice into the Karma and the Ezreal. Also, really going to kind of limit some of the gank opportunities here for Fullmouther, so I'm curious where he targets. So the Trundle locked in here with the Cho'Gath, so I think that's pretty smart drafting from Collective. I mean, I talked about, yes, tanks are great into a Jhin, but on the other hand, Trundle is great at just beating the crap out of them and taking all their stats. So all of a sudden, this is going to be a paper-thin Cho'Gath or Poppy, more likely. And especially, you know, you go in there with the Aftershock on the Poppy. I mean, ugh, that can be so disgusting. But we'll see how Lil Condemn plays it. Again, the split push, too, with the Trundle. I mean, he can do the exact same thing. They did it to great, devastating effect in Game 1. Meanwhile, Ulfald is going to lock in the Aurelion Soul there into the Mel in mid lane. I know Ulfald hates playing against Mel. I don't know if that's evident from, you know, research or VOD reviews that Mzry Collective happened upon. I imagine they just picked the Mel because they like the champ, but I know Ulf hates this champion. So hopefully he doesn't get too tilted, and hopefully he likes that Aurelion Soul matchup. They'd get the counter pick into the Mel at least, so he didn't get, you know, had to blind into a Mel. He didn't have that situation. But nonetheless, I think a lot of adaptations here. Mzry Collective give up the Poppy, but then I think with the Trundle, you have a lot of tools. And with the Jhin and the Mel, I think really key here is going to be for WA to not fall far behind. I know people like joke Ezreal is not an early game champion. I mean, he can be just fine, and his spike at an item or two is amazing. But I think the key is that he can be left alone as Silver wants to roam and try to secure Drake, secure Grubs, whatever you need to do. The problem is going to be if WA starts getting behind, Mel and Jhin can just be killing people from off screen. I mean, they could be playing Warcraft 3 out there, clicking somewhere else on the minimap and killing somebody. It's ridiculous. So that's going to be what you don't want to happen if you're a WA fan. As well, the go buttons are so clear here for Mzry Collective. Look at that. You got the depth charge and the assault and battery. Both point and click knockups. I mean, yes, Ice Swing has the Ezreal. You can arcane shift away, but you cannot interrupt those. So they are going to get onto it. And Ulfald as well. They can do that. So this is a dangerous comp of Mzry Collective. I think WA is going to have to play well. I'm really going to be looking at Fullmouther. Where does he target early on? You can't let Ulfald just get ganked and die early in the game, lose summoner spells. Might have to 2v2. It's going to be really close. Maybe get some roams even strategically from Silver on the Karma. Very strong early, a lot of damage up front. Make some of those skirmishes at least go even. They can't fall heavily behind against this comp. That's my take on it. But we've got a couple minutes wait here with the spectator delay. But we do have at least one more game, and we hope two on our hands of League of Legends here in the playoffs of Style Esports. We do head to that break, and when we return, it's Game 2, WA versus Mzry Collective. Welcome back, everyone. Here we are, loading into the Rift for game number 2. It's Mzry Collective versus the Warriors of Æsir. Everything on the line for WA in this game. For real this time, the lower bracket of the Style Esports playoffs. They have to win this game to stay alive. They're already down 1 to Mzry, and this time no cheeky 5-man invade that resulted in a flash for flash as we saw in game 1. Instead, it's just a regular old line of scrimmage being drawn. And there's some major planning ahead from Foldmather. Void Grub spawning in 7 minutes, or maybe just commenting on the changes to the camp spawn, the neutral timing that were made to the game. I have to say, I think I already like this Rift better, and I like the color scheme of the Noxus, but I think this is just closer to the Rift I'm used to, and it's nice. I have to get out there and try it out. So we talked about this mid lane matchup. I mean, certainly mid lane was basically the story of game 1. Both mid laners really being the focal points of their teams, but it was the collective overall coming out on top there. Condemn versus Mellow here in the top lane. Kind of a bit of an inverse of what we saw in the matchup in game 1, just because that was the big Scion getting beat on by the Aatrox. To no avail, really, unfortunately, for Mellow. I mean, he farmed just fine, but yeah, Scion just went berserk, taking those plates and side lanes, and Mellow really said, okay, here we go, dredge line. They found Ice Swing, flash burned by the Ezreal, looking for the root. The Deadly Flourish connects onto Silver. So Summoner burned by Ice Swing, and that level 2 ding by Mzry Collective. Now finally WA has it, but down that Summoner spell is Ice Swing. Should have the Arcane Shift now, but I think the question will be, will he have his flash before Jedi makes a trip down bot lane? And my instinct would say no, but we'll see what happens. A lot of the lane actually comes down to the recall timings for Ezreal too. I think if he's able to get something key here, started the Doran's Blade, which, you know, I know how big a fan people are of Tyr, but I think you have to get that on burst back. It's just having the extra health and damage is just too nice. And your Q is not on that short of a cooldown, so. But that's kind of the key balance is, I mean, you want to get that tier pretty early to start stacking it up, but at the same time, you know, that's an extra 400 gold, and you'd love to get your Sheen as well, and it really feels bad to pick up that stupid Lucent Moat. I mean, that's just like a piece of trash on the side of the road that you picked up, except you paid $250 for it. Them and Mellow trading back and forth. Grasp stacks for Mellow, but ooh, lethal tempo. A little Condemn. You can see already giving that Cho'Gath the business, but even on CS is Mellow, staying afloat. Ulfold, low on health, low on mana, and Jedi's looking here. So is Foldmather. I talked about the 2v2 skirmish, but look at the health of the Aurelion Soul. No way you can do this, Foldmather. Heroic Presence says we are in full retreat mode. Mellow versus Condemn. So low is the Cho'Gath flash. Condemn with the follow, and the chop will take first blood for Mzry Collective. And Foldmather actually taking a ton of damage here. Oh no, and Deadly Flourish on the Ice Wing, flashless. He will have the Arcane Shift to get out of there, though. So he'll be just fine, and Silver holds the heal. Foldmather just getting bullied out of his own jungle. Really wants to contest those Raptors, but not able to do it, and Dredgeline narrowly misses Silver in bot lane. We're halfway there to Ice Wing's flash being back up. Mellow has teleported back top lane. Will Condemn will not do the same. He'll take the long walk, but he has a Vamp Scepter and a dagger. Okay, maybe looking. I mean, you'd love as Ice Wing to proc that, but you really can't risk it with the dredge line. I mean, honestly, I think there's like a 40% chance I would have Arcane Shifted forward right there, and then probably an 85% chance I would have died if I did it. But I would be eager to do it. And now, here we go, maybe looking for an aggressive play. Rodent will look for a dredge line. Actually looking to turn things around because Jedi's on the way and Silver is so low. Rodent flashes backwards. Here comes the Vi. Full HP, though. Foldmather could be in trouble. Jay is even here. The root doesn't connect into Icewing. Foldmather back away. Ulfald is here finally. Oh no, but the deadly flourish on a Foldmather. He'll flash over the wall. And now, looking for the roots, the slows. Jedi leading the charge. Foldmather wants this Jin, and he will find him. The Ignite, though, burns him down. Revenge. Very low is this Vi. Silver, a lot of damage. They need some autos. They need a bit more. Jay trying to finish it off. Dredge line connects to the Icewing. He will fall. Ulfald, though, trades one back, and he'll want more. Executes here with the breath. Maybe he can find Jay. He's got no mana, though. Oh, it could have been at least one more kill, but at the end of the day, make it a 4-4-2 in favor of Mzry Collective. 3 for 2. No, 4 for 2. Yeah, excuse me. And Jedi, okay. That's a nice little bite back there for the Warriors of Æsir in a chaotic fight that I struggled to follow. But Jedi overstaying there does fall. Foldmather picking up that kill, and Ulfald at least finds one kill, and now wants Jay. Ultimate here, Foldmather coming in. Jay has no flash. This should be a dead Mel, and it is. That's a shutdown onto Ulfald, just so you want the gold on after game 1. It's Aurelian Soul, and you know that feels good for Ulfald, who I said, one of the top Mel haters. But Mellow here in top lane. The Subjugate available, will condemn. I mean, Mellow just cannot lane now. Condemn. Just whack, whack, whack again and again. Deadly Flourish, though. Foldmather could be in trouble. Flashless, this Poppy. But he will speed his way out with Silver running interference. So Foldmather again. Very aggressive play, but a better KDA to show for it here to start off game 2. It's still the Collective with a 1,000 gold lead, and the top lane problem continues to develop here. Who is going to match Lil Condemn inside lane? It's a little too early to start talking about that, but already see this Trundle is only going to become more and more of a nuisance for WA. Meanwhile, the Drake secured by the Collective. Grubs are spawning here. Ulfald is back. Does not have the ultimate. Looking for Jay. No root there. A lot of damage by the Aurelian Soul. Look at that. Needs a bit more. Foldmather coming in and finds it. Silver is here. Now they're chasing Jedi. This is big for WA. 2 kills. Looking for the Grubs. Two-shot barrage. Icewing wants a piece of that, but they died too fast. Mellow's got to be so careful here. Look at how much damage he takes. Yes, Cho'Gath is pretty good at sustaining, but so is a Vamp Scepter Trundle. And, I mean, Condemn wants to contest these Grubs. Let's see how this goes. He doesn't have a ton of mana, and nobody's here just yet. WA is going to take him quick, which they are doing. I don't know that the Collective will even... Yeah. Jedi says, I'm just going to farm my jungle. We have lost these Grubs. They got a Drake. So WA, with what might be their first gold lead of the series. Hey, it might only be about 50 gold or something. But, okay, Suit Duck there with the curtain, or excuse me, with the Deadly Flourish into Icewing. The depth charge coming out now. Maybe a curtain call if they need it. Icewing barrier. Looking to chase him down. Be conscious, though. I mean, how much mana does Suit Duck have? I think, oh, not quite enough. And yeah, with the dancing grenade there. I was wondering. I thought he was close to 100. He had about 88, 89. So not able to curtain call there. Yeah, I wonder if he shouldn't have. I suppose he really wanted to push that wave in, but I think he stopped that recall for a second because he was maybe thinking about it. Flashless Ezreal, pretty challenging to dodge all 4 of those shots. Now Silver is back and has the heal. Level 5 to Rodent 6, but depth charge burned there. Icewing has the Sheen. Mellow flashes away from Jedi, meanwhile, in top side. So Sheen and Tear. So you love that for Icewing. That's a really nice point. He's doing just fine here, actually up in farm. And 3 kills apiece, and Foldmather and Ulfald. I talked about how WA really can't fall behind in this game, and they certainly aren't. I think the question at this point is going to be, how do some of these future skirmishes around the objectives go? Because you know the next Drake, most likely, and certainly Rift Herald, there's going to be some fighting going on. And especially if Rift Herald, Lil Condemn is going to have first dibs on that, and Mello is going to have a difficult time affecting those fights as much as a Trundle will. Maybe we see Condemn just split push. Doesn't even join those fights, but I think he did a good job in game 1 of split pushing, but also joining the fights. I mean, huge we saw in that Rift Herald fight in game 1, where Condemn arrived with the Scion and completely turned it. I mean, it was a wipe for Collective, I think. Old Method, though, oh, looking for the wall stun and not able to find it, and now Curtain Call comes out. Here's the heal. Silver needs to block, and he will. Make sure you don't make a... Sometimes this happens when I'm playing Jhin. The other team, they forget. They don't block, or maybe they... You know, you get a friend that's not really your friend. You don't really like him. You just let him eat the final 4th shot. But WA, not a victim there. Ooh, an Ice Wing. Aggressive Arcane Shift forward. I like it. A lot of damage there into Suit-Duck. Oh, True Shot Barrage, if that connected. Actually, Barrier was used by Suit-Duck. I think it did connect. But not able to kill it. Kill the Jhin. Gold very even right now. Lil Condemn up 40 plus CS, and Mello. Okay, finally, here we see Ulfald's on the way. Mello will be looking for the Rupture. Okay, that connecting should mean Condemn is dead for sure. Who does he subject? Oh, it doesn't even have a chance. It's Foldmather with kill number 4. And that's big. Last time Lil Condemn was really left to do whatever he wants, and whew, see that damage coming out. Phase completed for Ice Wing too. He's cruising towards that Trinity Force. Ooh, nice Mystic shot. Sorry, I'm an Ezreal player. I'm concentrating a bit too much. Okay, here we go. Mid lane though. The Meteor coming down, dodged away from Ulfald, flashes back, but will die. Meanwhile, bot lane, somehow Silver is dead, but Foldmather gets revenge. But it is a double kill in the bot lane. Jedi came in with the flash. Rodent also flash. Depth charge. And 2 kills. And we are all tied at 8. Is the Collective once again with a slight gold lead. Couple of plates though. And a dead Trundle. But a messy game. Not really the clean start you'd hope for. But at the same time, this is a very, very winnable game for WA. The question is, what do they do from here? You've got 5 kills on your Poppy. Foldmather's got to be the one. Looking for Jedi coming in. Silver is here. Level 6 finally. But that's a huge point for the Karma. But Condemn again looking for the proxy. And the Drake here. Decisions for the Warriors of Æsir. Flashes burned by both mid laners. I think a bigger problem for Ulfald when you have to stare down depth charge coming up and about 20, and the Assault and Battery was not even used by Jedi. Didn't need it there in that bot lane fight that we didn't see because this game was too insane. Deadly Flourish bot doesn't connect, and both junglers are looking towards that bottom side of the map. Drake's still available now, and I think WA want to start it. And yes, they will. Now, key. Teleport available for Condemn, not for Mello. This turret could go down. Mello is on the wrong side here. He could just die. Meanwhile, let's check out what's going on bot here. Okay, WA takes the Drake. Dredge line in, it connects. It's a huge depth charge. The damage is massive. Ulfald tries to respond, but already dead. Mello falls under the turret. Foldmather dies. That's a shutdown, and Silver and Ice Wing have got to get out here. Ice Wing should be okay, but Silver has to dodge everything, and he can't. Rooted by Rodent, finished by Suit-Duck. And it's 4 more kills over the Mzry Collective. And in a game that looked a lot more promising than game 1, all of a sudden, it's looking all too familiar here. Ice Wing, the lone survivor, will try to stand tall and protect this turret. No depth charge, and with Barrier and Flash, I think he should be able to do it. Teleport by Ulfald. Pick up some of these waves, and yeah, the Collective won't try to push that one down. Yeah, Condemn's teleport not even needed for the Collective. 4 versus 4. They win that, and they win their 1 versus 1 top. Mello finally has the heart steal now, but it's a 50 CS lead for Lil Condemn, and first turret as well. Almost 3,500 gold lead. Rift Herald, the next potential target. We're all tied up in the Drake department. Fall. Have they found themselves a Rodent, a Nautilus? Look, Rodent was looking for their dredge line. It is nicely done. I don't know if that was max length dredge line, but pretty close. Flashless Nautilus. Able to get out at least. The reset, okay, and now here comes Foldmather staying aggressive. Jedi could be in trouble. We need a bit more damage onto this Vi, who's got a shield and assault and battery, but it's not going to be enough. Silver, though, is really low. Got to be careful. It could just be the execute. Yeah! You hate to see that traded when WA had such a clear man advantage on the map, but indeed it was traded back by Jay, who has killed number 5, and again, this mid laner for Mzry Collective, very strong. Rift Herald secured by WA. Foldmather eating a couple of curtain call shots, and now looking for Flash again! Foldmather with the Flash, not able to find that heroic charge into the wall, and pays for it with his life. Hands Jay, kill number 6. And teleport burned here by Lil Condemn, who flashes the Rupture, chases down Mellow, and that is going to be it for the Cho'Gath. Mellow flashing right into trouble. It's actually the Nautilus who takes the kill. Rodent picks that one up. 15-9 the kill score, 4,000 plus the lead. Deadly Flourish there, hit by Suitduck, who's chasing Icewing. I would be a bit careful. Oh yeah, Icewing maybe wants this kill. Flash looking to follow. Oh, nice Flash Mystic shot by Icewing. Finishes that off. And then I think Arcane shifted to make sure it got away from Jedi, whose Assault and Battery is just barely not up. Meanwhile, Silver flashing away into the minions. Dredgeline can't connect. Foldmather here, but can't take this fight 1 versus 2. Sure, that's a 6-kill Poppy, but can't do it. See, ping is coming out. Yes, Flash for Flash. Icewing able to find that nice little solo kill. Again, it's a little something for WA. We like to see it. They're staying in this game. They're still down a few K. 3 turrets lost, and maybe a 4th potentially really soon. You see how low that turret is, and the bot lane of the Collective are headed mid to try to help clean that up. Blackfire for both mid laners. Triforce completed now for Icewing. Pretty close to that Muramana. I'd say give him 4 or 5 minutes. Should be able to get it. Deadly Flourish, but nothing there to help set up a route. Drake will be spawning soon, and that could be the next target. Again, Rodent can be cut out here. Ulfbald, though, getting away from the Condemn. Oh, no, here comes Jedi, and I talked about it in draft. No way for the Dragon to get away from that Vi. And it's Jedi with the kill. Ulfbald will be respawning in 30 seconds with a teleport, so he can join this Dragon fight if they want. But I wonder if WA doesn't just opt to give it up. They've been very reticent to choose any kind of defensive or retreat option here in these fights. Now it's Mellow versus Jay in the side lane, but see Jay hiding that Cho'Gath out pretty well. Oh, but here comes Foldmather once again to the rescue. Needs a bit more damage. Jay trying to finish off this Cho'Gath, but it will be a shutdown onto the Poppy. Foldmather with kill 7. Has more than half of the team's kills there on the Poppy. Has to be the difference maker here, but mid lane outer goes down as it was foretold. And meanwhile, Infernal Drake as well, the Mzry Collective. So they're really just getting everything across the map. I mean, WA, they are losing fast. It looked good early, but now you don't know. Okay, Root, though, from Silver, looking for a bit of help from Ulfbald. They need some more. The execute from the Dragon. Gotta be careful, though. Condemn has beaten them both to death and finds a double kill. They had to have been close to the execute there for Ulfbald, but not close enough. A disaster for WA. Yes, another kill onto Lil Condemn, but to lose mid laner and support in a 1 versus 3, you have to think that might have been the final little turning point here in this series. And Mellow should fall as well. Can't get away from the dredge line, and he will die. It's Suit Duck with kill 4. Icewing pushes mid, but that's now a 5,000 gold lead, and Lil Condemn showing off there in the side lane. And this time, Atacon going to the collective, not WA. And while the first 10 minutes of this game looked like anyone's up for the taking, hold up though. Okay, Dredgeline cancels the keeper's verdict, and WA, they were considering a contest on Atacon. They're still lurking here, but it's already gone. And look at the damage there from Jay. Foldmather taking so much, and now Wolfwood could be in trouble. Assault and battery. Cannot get away. Curtain call. Dredgeline. Down goes WA's mid laner. And a root coming forward and execute from Jay. And the Warriors of Æsir are in complete disarray. To our dismay. Jay taking a lot of damage there. Icewing with that Triforce fully stacked here. Should be able to pick up the Muramana. Once Jay flashing away, but in goes Icewing, and that means some more damage and a kill. Jay with a sliver of HP survives. And boy, that feels bad. True Shot Mirage will be coming up in a couple of seconds, but Icewing's screen is gray. He saw the opportunity there to claw something back. He had that solo kill on a Suit Duck earlier, but not gonna be careful here. They'll look at Dam again, looking for a 1 versus 3. He's found one. Fall playing on the outside here, has to get away, flashes away. Foldmather 1v1ing this Trundle, but it's gonna be really close. Foldmather again triumphs, but wow. Little Condemn with the Trundle. I talked about in the early minutes how already this Trundle appeared to be getting out of control. That time is here. Nobody can answer this Trundle, and I question if even 3 members of WA can answer him without burning ultimate summoners and throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the top laner of Mzry Collective. It certainly tells you about the state of this game. Rift Herald was taken by WA earlier and now summoned in bot lane to precious little effect. 7,000 the gold difference now. Silver and Icewing just trying to hold mid. You see, he completed that Muramana. That's nice little spike for Icewing. Is it too little too late? It might be. Rupture doesn't find anybody. Here comes Foldmather and Ultfold. They want to try to start this fight. There's no Trundle. There's no teleport. They have 5 versus 4. Can they make it happen? True Shot Mirage. Keeper's verdict. Curtain call coming up to clean things up. The damage, the lead from the collective is too big. Curtain call, final shots. Don't find any kills. Melo's got to be careful. Looking is the Vi. Does Jedi, I think, was considering there a tower dive. Doesn't pull the trigger, though.
Get this.
WA there, they had the 5 versus 4, and they could not pull it off. And now, Lil Condemn is back on the map again. They lose mid lane inner turret. Foldmather coming in. Wants to find an heroic charge and maybe get a wall stun. He's missed 1 or 2 key ones that I know he thought he had, but the hitbox wasn't there. Bot lane inner turret goes down. And that gold lead now 8,000. 23 to 13 the kill score. 9 of those 13 on the Poppy, and you wonder if that's exactly who you want the gold on. I mean, the Ezreal, the Aurelion Soul could be doing more work, but at the same time, I don't know that we're talking about any kill steals. It's just been Foldmathers usually coming in to save the day. Jedi maybe caught out here. The breath from Ultfold coming out. Foldmather with the flank. It's a big meteor. Now this could be a fight for WA. 2 kills, looking for more. They're pushing. Icewing very aggressive. Arcane shift forward. Foldmather flash. Finds a stun onto Jay. Ultfold continuing to rain hellfire upon the Mzry Collective. There's a 3rd kill. Make it a 4th. Can Ultfold make this an ace? Suit Duck with the flash and the barrier. Won't even use them. But massive for WA. They chase down their opponents, and here in game 2, when everything is on the line, as Suit Duck could be in trouble. Barrier burned. Will not use the flash, but Ultfold nicely able to extract that toll, that summoner, The question now is, what does WA take? Jedi has respawned. The Baron is very healthy. If the Vi sprints here right now. No, Vi's looking for the Drake. Mzry Collective have abandoned this Baron. I think it would have been close anyway. Jedi opting to not contest that. And WA takes a massive chunk out of that gold lead. They take the Baron. They cut it to 3.5K, but Mello merely leashes the Drake. WA tried to have that cake and eat it too, and they can't do it. The third Drake of the game, the Infernal Drake, going over to Mzry Collective. That puts them at soul point. They can just take one more. But WA cutting that gold lead to 4,000 with a huge fight. Icewing got 2 of those kills. Ulfald got 1. It's just what you want for our hometown team here. Icewing continue to clean up there in the side lanes. The question now will be, what does WA do with this Baron buff? It's not the usual Baron situation where you're already pushing and now you can do more. WA is having to use this as a defensive Baron to try to keep Lil Condemn away. And that is something they must do. Dredgeline onto Mello, and maybe WA pulls the trigger here. Looking for Rodent. Jedi coming in. True Shot Barrage finds 2. Jay is low. They want to find Rodent. Ulfald looking for the execute onto the Nautilus. Finds it. Actually, it's Mello with the Feast. Picks up a stack. But in the side lane, it's Lil Condemn. Foldmather rooted by the Deadly Flourish. The Collective are just trying to buy time for Condemn on the side lane. Icewing, what can he do? He's got to be careful. I wonder if the Arcane shifts forward. He does. He's chasing him down. Needs a bit more. No flash available, though. No barrage available. So WA. Oh, they need a bit more. Icewing. Oh, there's a flash by Condemn. This could be it. Barrier burned by the Ezreal. Lil Condemn the Trundle. It's absolutely disgusting. You know Icewing wanted to make him pay for that turret, but he stepped a bit too far. And with a flash, Condemn takes down the Warriors of Æsir's AD carry. That gold lead now back at about 5K. This game is getting a little bit messy again, but it's still Mzry Collective in the driver's seat, continuing to push. And with that bot lane inhibitor turret gone, the door is open for Lil Condemn to threaten a Nexus if we get into a challenging standoff at a neutral objective, which we might. In a few minutes, the decision will come upon WA. Do you challenge Mzry Collective for that soul point? Do you try to forestall it? Perhaps at the cost of Lil Condemn taking all or most of your base? No. So much damage here to Mello, and it's finished off by Jay. The Cho'Gath falls again in 5 versus 4 here, but not too much right now for the Collective to take crucially. 30 seconds on Mello, yes, but 2 inhibitor turrets already gone here. 1 more stands for WA. At least Mello will be back up and teleports for both solo laners for Team WA if they want to contest a objective, but it's going to be so hard. They have 2 exposed inhibitors. Foldmather still running in aggressively despite being down a man, and now tightening the noose of the Mzry Collective, looking for that top lane inhibitor, looking for the bot lane one. Mello is respawning now, but both inhibitors have fallen, and that is the price for WA losing their top laner. They'll have super minions pressuring them at every turn now, and that will be the case when that Dragon Soul spawns. Foldmather losing his entire jungle here. Things are certainly dire for WA. A reminder, this playoff series, they face elimination in the lower bracket. Already down 1 game. They must win this game too to stay alive. And rapidly it's beginning to look out of their grasp. Small consolation, those super minions mean a lot of gold funneled into the wallets of Team WA. The challenge will be keeping those lanes pushed to any degree with the threat of Lil Condemn and the threat of the neutral objectives being taken. Foldmather now could be caught. Jedi looking. Foldmather actually runs right in here. Keeper's Verdict burned, finds no one. Drake will be spawning soon. Foldmather is so low. The poke is massive from the Mel here. You can see 3.5 items for Jay. And Condemn continuing to pressure that base. This could be trouble for Foldmather, forced to flash away. Mellow is so low. The call is to contest Little Condemn, but Icewing has seen this Trundle's damage before, and now he is even stronger. 5 versus 1. WA decide to try to keep the Trundle off, but they can't even kill him, and they will trade Infernal Soul for it. Now the feeling is they must get something, and they just can't. The call was to stop the Trundle, and it did not work. The push is now on here from the Mzry Collective. They have the Infernal Soul. Their damage is already ridiculous. Mellow will be absolutely melted. Flashless is Icewing and Foldmather as well. Now they want Little Condemn. They've got a little bit of time. Looking for the Trundle, and they will find him. It's a shutdown there, and it goes in the pocket of Ulfald. Somebody you'd love to have a bit more gold on, but it's traded for that inhibitor, just like in Game 1. Again, WA has been triple inhibbed, and now the Baron is ripe for the Collective's taking. And that is likely exactly what they will do. WA, you see pings, they know about this. Do they want to contest? Oh no. A Fnatic Bush being set up. Foldmather, Dredge line. Nice Keeper's Verdict will get one out of there. And now maybe that's enough. If they can take down Jedi, flashed away, but it's not going to save this Vi. Icewing has the kill, and Foldmather continues to push, looking for more. In he goes. Mommy Rodin taking a lot of damage. Little Condemn is still dead, but can teleport into the base. WA has to be worried about that. Curtain call comes out. Little Condemn immediately teleports in. WA has to get back here. This Trundle will rip through. Teleport by Ulfald. It's not going to be interrupted. Rodent can't find the Dredge line. Another teleport as well. Both burned. And now Icewing running interference could almost kill Jay. Gotta be careful though. Depth charge not available. Icewing True Shot Mirage coming out. Finds Duck, but not Jay, who would have finished off Little Condemn. So at the end of the day, it's just Jedi that dies, and WA spends both of their teleports. And right back to the Baron goes Mzry Collective, and they need Foldmather. He's got to run here right now. He's got Smite. He can steal it. I think they don't even know this is happening, or they've decided they can't. Yeah, I think Foldmather's just maybe now sniffing it out. But it's already gone. No jungler, no problem. Mzry Collective pick up that purple buff. And that may be all they need to finish off this series and move on in the playoffs. They will look to do it. Some power spikes. We see Icewing has the Spear of Shojin. Rabadon's Death Cap for Ulfald. They could just buy a bit of time for these carries to dish out the damage, make sure they're protected. But these fights, it's always somebody getting caught out or the team getting stretched across the map with Little Condemn in the side lane, who is impossible to deal with. He's already got 4 items. The Lord Doms, the Bork. He will devour Mellow or Foldmather in an instant. The inhibitor's coming back up, but just as soon, ready to go down. Now Mellow looking, Keeper's Verdict onto no one. Little Condemn wants the base. He's already taken an Nexus turret. WA, they have to make a call here. The pincer comes in here. Silver, damage onto Jay. Inhibitor down. Again, 3 inhibitors dead for WA. The last stand for the Warriors of Æsir here. Hope's last stand in Condemn on the side lane. Finally joins the rest of his team. It's been a rare sight, but it's a terrifying one. Curtain call here. The damage It's already a dead Mellow. Executed Lil Condemn with the kill. There's the damage from Ulfald only onto Lil Condemn, and they do kill the Trundle, but it's a big depth charge. Flashing away, Ulfald Silver. Ice Wing is already dead. Full Nether trying, but the damage is too much. Mzry Collective lose 2, but 3 stand, and the nexus of the Warriors of Æsir will fall in a 2-0 Team WA. The Journey in Style Esports playoffs sadly will end tonight. Of course, not the result we were hoping for here for our hometown players, but appreciate them giving it their all here. You can see Ulfald and Ice Wing both sharing the load in terms of damage, as well as Foldmath, a respectable 20k, but Jay with 45k, Trundle with 35. Just massive, that Trundle from Lil Condemn. I mean, the 8 and 6 KDA does not tell the story of this game. He was unmatched. And in this 1-4, the damage from Jay and Suit Duck, I talked about when they get a little bit ahead with those executes in that range. They're playing Warcraft 3. They're just throwing units in the garbage in the blink of an eye. And Mellow bearing the brunt, trying to frontline for this squad. Just getting absolutely melted. I wanted to see some of these stats here. I mean, damage healed, 27,000 there from the Trundle. What was I looking for? Damage to turrets and objectives, 25,039 to objectives. I mean, that tells more of the story for Lil Condemn. That side lane, both games, was impossible for WA to deal with. I hate to be proven right talking about some of those things in the draft, but it's such a problem. I like some of the decision-making there in Game 2. I think WA made some choices, said we're going to have to make a sacrifice and make a decision, make a call, and act on it, and they did. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. WA loses 2-0. And with that, we will go ahead and sign off. Thank you to all of our viewers, and of course, to Team WA for your efforts. Fun to watch you guys. Appreciate your work and time. That being said, we'll sign off. Have a good night.